welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. We're here tonight to talk about something kind of important right now, especially to us, is the Major League Baseball lockout due to the
Players Association.
Yeah, the Players Association.
The collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah, the CBA and everybody not being on the same page with certain aspects of everything. So we're going to kind of discuss where we think the blame kind of lies and who we're going to side with. So, Chris, since you're the most knowledgeable about this, I'll let you kind of open it up and for the discussion, we'll see where we can go from there.
Okay. I know you feel pretty adamantly that it's more on the teams and owners, right?
I think it is like that because I've followed a good bit of like different players on Twitter. Like Whit Merrifield actually is one of the really good ones because he'll actually go in and he'll explain the reasoning behind the players' request, like why they want it to be certain ways, and it does seem like they have the best interest of themselves at heart, not in a bad way. They're trying to take advantage of the league. They just feel like things are kind of been unfair. But it also kind of pissed me off that how you had the Braves win the World Series off season. And then we went months.
3 months.
Before anybody was even like, hey, we'll sit down and talk. Like, y'all could have been doing something for those 3 months. There was nothing going on. There was no reason not to. I do feel like the owners are very much set in their way in the sense that it's also the mindset of you wouldn't have the league without the players. So kind of treat them with a little bit more respect.
I agree with you 100% on that. I think that ownership should have realized how big the differences were going to be between the previous CBA and this CBA.
So the last one was what, 95?
Yeah.
When they canceled like 600 something games. They knocked out all 94.
Half the season.
Yeah.
No, they canceled the World Series and everything.
Yeah, but they canceled half the season. They went
on strike in like August of '94.
Yeah, they played half the season and then they said we're done.
But I think the biggest thing is the owner should have been way aware of the drastic changes that were probably going to.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Like since the last time this really happened was '95, you're talking almost 30 years difference. Like
I would imagine somewhere along the line there was probably a meet in 2005 or 2000.
There was another CBA out there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think 95 could have been the last one that they had.
In the past 10 years, we've seen the super contracts come out now. You're seeing such a massive revenue stream that it's unprecedented for the previous CBAs. Like the owners should have realized, like, hey, our revenue has jumped up this much. Like their expectations to get paid are probably going to match that same percentage.
Exactly. So when you're grossing $10 billion a year in your league, you're the second most profitable professional sports league in the world. Which is blowing my mind because I thought the NBA would actually be ahead of the MLB, but they're about $1 billion off. The thing is, you look at the way the NBA redid their CBA and how the players loved it, the revenue share. I think 51% of the money.
That's what I was about. My next question was then of this $10 billion revenue stream, what's the percentage on what is considered to be player contracts?
Yeah. I don't know the number on that.
Because my next thing is that revenue stream just to pay the 40-man MLB roster, or is this to pay all the way down to my single A team?
It should be from top to bottom.
So, if that's the case,
it is top to bottom. But when you get down to the lower leagues, the lower like the AAA, AA, single A,
they're not quite as profitable as you.
Yeah, that's based strictly off that league's performance, not the MLB really as well.
But
the MLB did restructure how the minor leaguers were housed and stuff like that. Apparently, that made a huge difference for minor leaguers because no one really understood they were just being taken advantage of.
Yeah, they were making next to nothing.
Yeah,
pretty much had to get own hotels and everything. But that's what I was going to say. So now, whereas the NBA is saying, hey, we can give 51%. Yeah, it's because now you're looking at 15-man roster on 30 teams?
Yeah, and then you're looking at the G League stuff, so you're looking
another
at
15-man
roster.
So either way, you're looking at 30 people across 30 teams, whereas now I'm looking at 40 at 120 players, 130 players per organization. So I don't think you could do the same amount as profit share and the owners be as happy.
Yeah,
you got way more athletes to pay.
Absolutely.
Now, do I agree that you're seeing a lot more profit in the MLB just from fans being involved and everything else. Absolutely. So agree with y'all's point that the owners should have saw, hey, this is probably coming up on the next CBA that something's gonna have to give, but to see how far off they are is
astonishing.
It's
Yes.
an aggressive jump, and that's the point that I was going to get to.
But like you were saying, I'd like to know what Witt is kind of, or what the players are saying on like, hey, I need 750.
We're asking this because for this reason.
The thing that I blame the players for, you should have been bringing this up long before this. I'm with Alex 100%. We should not have had a conversation the day before December 1, and everybody's like, oh, not F it, lockout, right? And then not talk again until the last week of February.
Or
Yeah, like how do
That's
you
so petty.
How do you have like the date set of like, hey, if we don't have something set up before this date, we'll have to at least delay spring training, and they're like, okay, let's meet the day before.
or
Like
two,
what?
Literally,
Like,
literally the week before.
Yeah, like okay, you gave yourself one meeting to make this shit work. One meeting.
Or
And then you go in there and you're off by
100.
essentially millions of dollars across the board. You're nowhere even near each
So
other.
that's my thing though, is why all of a sudden are the players, granted I think it is due to the revenue stream, but you're seeing such a jump in base salary across the board that I'm saying, why do I need an extra $200,000 a year for somebody that,
I think
though they're one of the best in the world at this sport,
Yeah, I mean, at a
that's
very
still
high
there.
level, but
I get you're a professional athlete, but you're not putting in.
you're not Ronald Acuna.
so it's
Well,
like
you're
it's,
not
it's-
Mike
it's
Trout.
the
You're not
thing
Shohei Ohtani. You're
The
not.
thing about it is, like, I think the issue is, we talk about that Shohei Ohtani he was exempt because he's an international player,
But
all the different rules.
their
but let's just-
ceiling's a lot lower.
Yeah,
than
let's
some
just
of these other
imagine.
guys.
Let's imagine Ohtani was like drafted his freshman year out of college, and basically spent 3 weeks in the minor leagues and went straight to the big league and just did what he did his first rookie year in the MLB.
Just to clarify that, he means straight out of high school, not first year college.
Let's say he goes and does that, and then you're now telling him that, sorry, we can't. You're stuck at the 700 for the next 3 years because you signed a rookie contract.
Well, no,
But
you
he's
just
going.
got up to the league and you haven't gotten your 3 years.
Yeah, but he's going out there and
that's
as
what
a
I put on-
pitcher, leading the league in home runs up at the position by a long shot, out there in the conversations for Cy Young, that like he's being like the perfect dual man for you, and he's
So that's
helping.
that pre-arbitration money that he deserves.
Which
Yeah,
didn't
but that's
exist
why-
until now.
But no,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to get at is that is why these players are so far off, because you're starting to see that in baseball now.
Yeah.
You're not seeing that back in the day.
Yeah.
You don't have these 1 to 3 year kids coming in and literally making a difference between you being a 500 team to actually winning a pennant.
Yeah, and the teams in the past 5 to 6 years have really taken advantage of these young players. Like Atlanta's done it.
Yeah.
They've taken advantage of Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ozzie Albies before giving them long-term contracts. Let me be clear about this. Of using them at that minimum to build the best roster possible, which gives them an opportunity to win a championship, right? It's kind of like the NFL strategy of drafting a rookie quarterback and spending all your money in free agency on offensive line and defense, right? So I think the tough part is I agree with the players. I'm a little upset with the players not accepting this last offer and just doing like a 3-year CBA. And let's continue to work on, like, let's get this league started, let's get the season started, let's get things ramped up.
And
Let's
but
take what we got right now.
If you don't
and let's
play, you don't get
renegotiate.
paid.
yeah,
But their argument though on the other end is, if we don't play, you owners aren't getting paid.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
I,
gonna hurt.
I think the players are going to get hurt more than the owners.
yeah.
I don't know. I think the owners, the way it's currently set up, you're talking about $10 billion spread across less than 50 probably individuals that own the actual teams and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
that's a hard hitting check for them. The players, I don't think it's gonna really hurt them that bad. It'll hurt the owners more.
For every player not to get paid this year, it'll hurt, but is it worth it to them, right? Right now, it seems like it's definitely, from a union standpoint, they've made the decision, it's worth it to us.
Yeah.
But see, so I think both parties are trying to be greedy. Oh, as owners, I think owners always have been. You know, hey,
We've been a little bit greedy.
what's best for
I'm the
my
one
pocket?
writing the checks.
Yeah, what's best for my pocket? Now the players are like, hey, not only that, but I need
need
mine.
mine.
Yeah, I need mine as well. Do I think both parties can give a little bit? Absolutely. Do I think the players I think the players overshot and said, "Hey, I'm going to shoot high. Might as well
Shoot your shot.
I don't think they
shoot
did.
high." But then well,
Because I mean, hell,
negotiations work, though.
this
You
year,
have to go high.
this year alone, like if we can get like economics of like inflation has just been ridiculous since 2020. Granted, that's not really something kind of come into play to this, but the last time they actually came together and had some sort of contract negotiations versus where they're at now, players are better. They are more standoutish. They have more of an impact on your actual individual win-loss record. And just these kids are worth the money more than they were, hell, 15 years ago. If we go back to like 2005, 2007.
but to say all of a sudden,
There was nobody like Mike Trout out there getting $30 million a year back then for that long term of a contract.
Well,
Bobby Bonilla.
Derek Jeter or A-Rod got huge contracts, but they were
A-Rod got
long-term.
a huge contract because
That was also the time when the Yankees were actually winning championships and
Yeah.
was
That's why
paying
A-Rod got
out.
large contracts,
Yeah.
because it was the Yankees. That's why Teixeira got a 10-year large ass contract.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying though is to jump from 500 to 775, $275,000.
Hell, bring an extra. The players wanted an extra $105 million in the pre-arbitration money. Dude,
Yeah.
that comes from the league, by the way. That didn't come from players at all.
Yeah.
That's just, hey league, I want you to pay $105 extra million
Per
somewhere.
team. Is that per team?
But as a league,
Or just
As a league,
Okay.
that's the pool.
So-
the money pool.
Yeah.
All 32 teams.
But
Yes.
that can get covered easily. That should get covered easily, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that $275,000 jump in base salary, they probably did that to be actually, well, I'm willing to go like 700.
Yeah,
But
well,
let's shoot-
well,
let's
they,
shoot
they
high-
weren't.
shoot high.
They,
Yeah.
they weren't willing to accept the 700. And I think
But-
really what the only thing that's holding the players back from accepting this last deal from the MLB is going to be the pre-arbitration money, right? Because the players initially wanted 105, and the last offer was 30 million, right?
Yeah.
The 700, the playoffs were the other thing. The league wanted to expand their playoffs, which we haven't even hit on yet in this now 20-minute video. But to expand the playoffs gives the MLB teams and owners more revenue, right? Because people aren't going to the 157th game of the season.
They're going to the playoff games.
They're going to the playoff games.
Yeah.
Right? I can speak from experience. I was paid $1,000 to go to the World Series. That's where the major chunk of the revenue can come from to make up these things that the players are wanting. But the players don't want to play extra games.
And that's fine. Then
Well,
instead of
that's where you gotta
I'll
meet
cut,
in the middle.
I'll
You gotta-
cut the season from 162 to 150 and
I'd love that.
and extend the
That's what I
playoffs.
would do.
Yeah.
That's what
cut-
I would do, but that's not what they want to do.
Yeah, I'll
You know,
cut
Just do
the
what Jock
regular.
Peterson said. Just do what Jock Peterson said. Play the 162 games, only play 7 innings, make 30 teams go to the playoffs, and give everybody a trophy.
Yeah.
And be done with it.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, cut the regular season down then by 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and have
14 teams make the playoffs.
or 12.
Well, that's
Yeah.
where they're meeting.
Yeah,
Instead of
so
10,
12.
they wanted the league wanted 14, the players wanted to stay with the 10. Now they meet at 12. So
So yeah, if you put a 12 team or a 12 team playoff, cut the season by 2 weeks, that saves you 10 games probably.
yeah,
At least 12. That drops you down. That drops you down to
150,
Yeah.
and there you go. Now all of a sudden, yeah, your teams are charging $300 a ticket for a playoff ticket.
Yep.
You just sold out again because 30,000
If you're
people
making
said,
the
"Hey,
playoffs, they're gonna go.
yep.
yeah, your team made the playoffs. 30,000 people are gonna show up and pay that $300 ticket."
Yep.
And there you go. You just made what you probably would have made in 2 weeks in one night.
All right. When
So-
do you, final thing to wrap this all up. When do you think this? Give me a day or date at least that you think the 2022 MLB season will officially start.
It might not start. May 1st.
That's what I was thinking. Well, no, that's a Sunday. Yeah, you can see. I guess you can see it. Whatever that. That would be the third to
Thursday,
Tuesday.
April 29th will be the Friday. If May 1st is the Sunday.
I don't know. I was saying that following Friday. What is that? The 5th,
The
Sixth.
the 6th. Yeah, May 6th.
I'm gonna say it's closer to the beginning of June.
I'm gonna go May 23rd. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go with him May 23rd. He'll go. You want to just go June 1st?
Yeah,
You're probably gonna
or
be
May
close to
30th
anyways.
or whatever, but June 1st. Yeah, I'll go June 1st.
Yeah. Tough stuff. Tough stuff.
Unfortunate. As big as MLB fans, and of course as Atlanta fans want
Yeah.
to see
The last World Series champion, baby.
Ever.
Just 3 months. I've just never seen somebody sit on their hands for 3 months in a negotiation.
The state government does it.
No, we don't.
That's
Yeah, they
different.
do.
All right, so just let us know in the comments, what you think, who you're blaming, and when you expect the MLB season to start. And as always, like, comment, subscribe.